All right. So, um, as far as the weekend of wrestling, which I think is how I'm going to end up doing it from here on out, is I'll just do SmackDown, whatever, pay per view, and then Raw, and I'll just kind of smush them all together. Um, First things first, I've got a message for TKO and everybody else. There are times where you have to understand that not everything needs to be so cut and dry, cost effective. Sometimes you do things because it's almost as if you keep a I don't want to say a mascot on hand. Um, but when you have a name like R Truth that everyone loves to see and wants to see more of, and every time they are on camera, everybody loves it. At that point, you really need to ask yourself, how much backlash are we going to get from this? And is it worth the dollar amount? And I know for a fact if you had R Truth popping out a little bit more often, and just kind of have those little gimmicky segments like you had on SmackDown with JC Mateo and Solo Sikoa, where he goes, he's a husky boy. Those are just fun things. You need to remember that you are calling yourselves sports entertainment, and you need to remember that he's providing entertainment every time he is on camera. Every time he is on camera, he is universally loved. There's I would venture a guess that there is no one on the roster, no one that dislikes him. Sure, he's up there in age. Sure, he's in his 50s. Look how long Flair went, for Christ's sake. You just have to let it be, man. Give him a Legends contract. You know, you're doing it for all these other people, and you have someone who is a legend, and you just get rid of him. I'm going, what are you doing? Like, you already got people upset that Karrion Kross is being looked over. You already got people upset that ticket prices keep going up. You already have everybody upset because Rock just kind of disappeared. He was like, Elimination Chamber, deuces. Haven't seen him since. So they're going, like, how can you be the final boss if you don't ever show up? Just get rid of him. Just give him a Legends contract, tell him to piss off, and just be done with him. Because what's the point of having him be the final boss if he's not going to do a damn thing? You already had massive backlash whenever you were screwing over Cody Rhodes because it was like, oh, we're just going to just wedge The Rock in and be done with it. At what point are you not realizing that R Truth provides just enough entertainment that people would love to go and be at a show where he actually shows up and does something right out in front of them? You know, coming out calling Triple H Tommaso Ciampa, or talking about how Damian Priest doesn't not like him because he can see it in his eye, and things like that, and talking about little Jimmy. And there's enough backstage stuff and the fans love it, but they want to see him out there too. And you just gave him a Saturday night main event with John Cena. Why, if you had it in the back of your head, we need to do some budget cuts, we need to figure out who we're getting rid of, why was it in such a sense that if you knew it was coming in less than a week or in 1 week's time, you were going to be just giving people the axe? Why not then give him a career versus championship match? That way, if John Cena loses or John Cena wins and Truth loses, it makes more sense storyline wise that he just kind of disappears. And the other thing is that it's almost like there's a spitefulness for anyone that Vince had put a whole lot of trust and faith in, that you're just now getting rid of all of the Vince guys. That's what you're doing. You're getting rid of the Vince guys. Austin Theory ousted. And people are getting tired of that whole thing with him and Grayson Waller just dragging on. The thing is that you have to keep your program from getting stale. And there's a lot of things that are getting stale. And there's a lot of things that are just kind of thrown in right now where they're going, this is what the people would like. And the people reject it. They don't want it. You know, they want to yeet their ass off. They want to cheer for CM Punk. They want to sing Seth Rollins' song. They want to see some really good matches. But there's things that people are tired of that you just like, we don't care. This is what we're doing. So if you're making a product for those same people that are rejecting it, why are you continuously making choices that are just leading to the people who are rejecting the product more and more? And kudos to Tulsa last night for Raw for throwing in, I want to say I counted 9 different "We Want Truth" chants. I had heard that they were doing "What's Up" chants, but I don't remember hearing those. But it was a lot of where we want truth. He's enough of a figurehead and provides enough entertainment. When he comes on the screen, everybody just, what's going on? What's he going to do? I got to pay attention to everything he says because this is going to be funny. This is going to be so great. And it's entertaining every single time. Every single time he is on the air, it is entertaining. So why cut him out? I don't understand the logic behind it. And then they're like, let's throw CM Punk out there. And it honestly seemed like they were going to keep throwing guys out there to just constantly have crowd interaction, to not start the R-Truth chants. And even whenever Stephanie Vaquer made her "I've been called up to the main roster" debut, which I thought was interesting, you're putting her in a Money in the Bank qualification match. And I'm just sitting there going, there's no way she wins. I don't see that there's any degree where she wins. But she did. And even during that match, which was a great match, Liv Morgan, Ivy Nile, Stephanie Vaquer, phenomenal match. It honestly was way better than pretty much any of the other matches throughout the night. The tag team at the end, you just knew bullshit was coming around. Or not tag team, the last Money in the Bank qualifier for the guys. Like, it was already a bullshit match because you threw El Grande in there. It's mildly entertaining hearing Pat McAfee and Michael Cole go back and forth about Chad Gable. It's not Chad Gable, but it's also old. There is a thing that TKO and all the writers for WWE need to understand, and it's 2 words that I swear they have no idea exist in the world. Because if they knew these 2 words existed, they would absolutely knock off what they're doing and fix it. And it's called diminishing returns. You can only throw the same thing out there so many times before people are getting tired of it. And sure, you got AJ Styles and you got CM Punk that are like, check his mask. And they're like, all right, we'll check the mask. But it's getting to the point to where no one likes this angle. No one likes pretending that it's not Chad Gable. Sure, the internet's having fun with it, going, it's really Mark Henry and goofy shit like that. And it's fun, but it's also wearing out, and it's wearing out fast. And the fact that you had El Grande win the last seat for Money in the Bank, like, what are y'all doing? I mean, it seems like what they're trying to do is give enough to where you constantly have Punk losing. You had him lose at Elimination Chamber, so he didn't get into to go after a belt at WrestleMania. He even loses at WrestleMania. You know, Rollins pulled all that shit and was like, nope, off I go. And you've had him on a constant losing streak. And the only thing I can think of is that you have your hero lose so often that when he wins, it's of a much more epic proportion. But you also have to realize you're about halfway through the year. And there still needs to be a Punk Cena thing happening. And there still needs to be time for Cena to turn it around. So you don't have 6 months. You have 4. Because the last 2 months of appearances needs to be with Cena as a face. Period. So you have 4 months. Well, how in the hell are you going to sit there and push in Punk against Cena if you constantly have him lose and other people should be up there taking his spot? I understand you had to take Cody out of everything because people were starting to boo Cody because they were realizing that they are missing out on Cena being around and Cody standing in his way. So they want Cena to be around and then to also give the impression that they're not as offsetting as Cena seems to think, but be more of a sense of, no, Cena, we really want you. Excuse me. We really want you around. You're missing it. So you boo Cody to cheer Cena to try and help turn him around. And Cena picked up on it and he made it. He even commented about it. But you had to push Cody off. You had to. So I get it. But in the same time, you can't push the Punk Cena so far down the line that it gets squished like you did with Orton and Cena. Because with Orton and Cena, it was, 2 weeks and that was it. And blah, they fought and it was a bad match. So that's 2 PLEs, pay-per-views, that you have Orton having a bad match. Now Orton looks terrible. And I'm like, dude, this is why I've said before, I applied to be a writer because I'm going, this product that you're pushing out right now, I'm sorry, is bullshit. It's becoming cumbersome and tedious to have these types of interactions with the stars, and the fans are just kind of going, oh, it's the same predictable bullshit again. So, well, just hope my guy wins. Here we go. That's not what you want. That's not what you want. That's like saying that your favorite team usually loses by 10 points, so you'd be happy to watch them lose, but lose by 2 points. No, you want to see them win. And there's only so much you just kind of punch in the hardships before people just start going, well, I guess fuck that guy. And they move on. It's like Penta. Penta came out of the gate hot. And you're burying him. The only thing that I'll say, and this is where I'm at on this. The only way I will be okay with El Grande being in Money in the Bank is if Penta unmasks him or someone unmasks him. Because it's gone on long enough and it needs to be done. You know, he was talking about he's almost learned the last bit of Lucha Libre. I'm like, okay, so here's a storyline that's been going on for almost 5 damn months now. And it's old. I mean, if you read a book and you enjoy the book, You don't stop after 4 chapters and then wait 6 weeks and then start reading it again. You keep going. You have to figure you have your Raw stars and you have your SmackDown stars. And there's an entire 7 days in between. Sure, some things on social media can help out and sort of help bridge that gap. But there's so little that seems to be advancing. There's nothing to talk about. The most that people have talked about WWE has been since Elimination Chamber and the month that followed. And all you're doing now is creating negative press because you're not putting out a product that are getting people excited. They're just... That being said, the Lyra-Becky feud, been going on since WrestleMania. Okay. Money in the Bank, it needs to end. It needs to end. Both of them need to be working on something else. I would love for Becky to win, Lyra getting mad, Bayley coming back, and then having Bayley and Lyra renew their rivalry that went away real fast because it was, I lost my ticket to try and get the Intercontinental Championship. Oh, well, let's go after the tag belts. What? Raw is screwed when it comes to the tag teams. It's screwed. You have the War Raiders popping up once a month and them trying to sit there and get their war thing over. And people are just kind of, because there's nothing going on with it. You had the New Day win at WrestleMania, and they've had, I think, 1 match since then. Like, what is happening, man? You have all these little snippets of stories that if you're not going from week to week, they need to be less impactful with lesser people. But I don't know, man. It's getting disappointing. It really, really is. And the downfall that I think is coming and that TKO is not ready for is you can't take someone like R-Truth out of the picture to save yourself some money for no reason. There's no reason to drop him. He's providing entertainment. His Ron Cena t-shirt was selling like crazy. And you're just going to let him go. You give him a reduced contract. So I don't know what he was making. Let's say he was making, I don't know, $200,000 a year. Tell him that you're going to do a reduced contract to $125,000. He's going to be doing most of his stuff backstage, a few things in ring, and a few matches. I guarantee you he'd be happy with it. And he'd take that ball and run the hell out of it. And next thing you know, because you have that one piece that you know, like that's your lightning in a bottle. You can throw that out at any time and everyone's going to love it. Everyone. Give him some time on the mic to sing his song. Give him some time to talk about some stuff. But, you're acting as if the build up to the Cena match was his swan song and just going, see ya, dude. And it's tainting the product, man. It really is. Because even whenever he's in his 50s, he's still going. You got Cena that's like, I got to get out of here. And if you go back 2 years, you could see how much weight and body mass Cena has lost. It is very relevant. He still has it in his forearms, but everywhere else he's lost it. It's almost like, dude, are you okay? Well, no, age is catching up with him, and you can't do that much to the body anymore. But you have so many people that are talented on the roster that can bring in tickets, that can bring in merch sales. But for whatever reason, whether it's spite or just idiocy or ignorance, they don't care. They don't care to put them out there and to make the product better. It's almost as if now that you've removed R-Truth, your entertaining people are Cole and McAfee. Their whole exchange last night on Raw about Cole losing, and then love the fact that McAfee looks at him and goes, "You look like an asshole." I mean, and then he sits there and he's talking up the crowd for Tulsa, and then goes, Pacers are gonna win game 1. I'll see y'all there. And they're boo, and they're doing OKC, OKC. And I'm going, that's your entertainment now. Everything else is all super serious. All the fun is gone. Carlito is gone. He was the fun. R-Truth is gone. He was the fun. It's all super serious now. So you're going to have to play it super serious. You're going to have to. There's no other way about it. You're going to have to play this straight edge now. Has to be super serious. You can't have any more goofy and fun shit. So at that point, El Grande's got to go. Because you essentially have Gable that's doubling up everything when you have other people that can be taking those spots. I don't know, man. It seems like this is a constant rotation for me when it comes to watching wrestling. Is I enjoy it. I like watching the people that I like, and whenever they're wrestling, I'm really into it. But I'm also going to be honest and say the last few weeks, Raw and SmackDown, there's times where I'm just... because it's not fun. The women are putting on better matches and having better storylines than half the dudes because they're doing the same shit. The same damn thing again and again and again. Sure, you can have some longer stories. That's fine. But you gotta keep them entertaining. The Jey Uso shit is starting to get old. Whenever you have someone that you have to put them with somebody else just to keep them relevant, you know your writing is slipping. And that's where Jay's at. So I'm saying that, Jay retains his belt, but when he goes up against Gunther again, he loses. That's the only way you can keep that story fresh, because you can't keep doing the same shit. It gets old. And then you have someone who comes up and is just like, CJ, I told you. You should have listened to me. So let's say, for instance, Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross goes up and he tells Jay, look, I tried to tell you long time ago. You didn't listen. Now that everything that I told you came true, are you ready to listen? Let's say that Jay's like, all right, Oos, let's go talk. So then next thing you know, there's Kathy Kelly comes by, and we get just a small glimpse of Kross and Uso talking, and you just hear, I tried to tell you that you have to cheat in order to keep this belt. You don't want to listen. So now it's time for you to get passed over. And then they have a match and they start fighting. Well, now you have Karrion Kross being relevant, and you have Jay sitting there trying to once again prove people wrong that he can do it, but just for whatever reason, shit went wrong. So then he goes back to Gunther, and Gunther's like, no, you're beneath me now. The fact that I got this back shows that you never should have had it in the first place. And then you have Jay go against Karrion Kross for a while. And then you have someone else come up and step up to Gunther. At that point, since you've pushed everybody else aside, you have Punk go after Gunther. And then give that 2 months to build. And then as that's building, you can also sit there and have Punk talk about Cena, go, let's go belt for belt. Then you have something exciting. Because then Cena can sit there and have a little portion of where he goes, hey, I told you I was going to take this belt and run. Well, now I got 2 of them. And people are going, oh, shit. What do we do now? Then you have Rollins be like, hey, this is why I got the 2 biggest and most lethal dogs in the yard. Time to go after Cena. And Cena drops one of the belts to one of those guys, or even Rollins. Now Cena's getting some heat because he's like, shit, I wanted to take both these belts. I want that shit back. And they're going, nope. This guy gets, like Breaker goes after the heavyweight, not the universal. Like, these are things that you can build, because then let's say Breaker gets the universal belt off Cena, and then Rollins has some kind of, I don't know, monologue where he tells Cena that you had the right idea, but because you aren't an architect like I am, your plans fell apart. And then that starts to just mess with Cena's head. And then you have a couple weeks where you have Rollins just kind of going off on him. And then Cena just kind of comes out. Now Cena's face, because Rollins is obviously a heel, because you can have heel versus heel matches. Those are fine. But you usually don't have face versus face. That's why Cena had to turn so that at WrestleMania he could go against Cody as a heel and Cody could stay as the face. So now you have Cena that's now the face that is going, hold up. He's taken apart this in a way that should not happen, and it needs to get fixed. So he just freaks the fuck out, and then now Cena is face and is at the point to where, you know, you got Reed, Breaker, and Rollins that are all just beating the hell out of him, and say it just kind of jolts some shit out of him. And say at the end, you know, you got people that are just going, Cena, Cena, Cena. And he kind of looks around and has a moment, and then just has a small smile on his face, and then picks his ass up, takes his little towel that he always puts in the corner, and then throws it out into the audience, and then walks out. You know right then and there, he just turned face. Now, what you do is you have Cena go back to Rollins, and at this point, this is where I say this is where you have that really, really good spot. And you have Punk go, there's 2 belts. There's 2 of us. You go into a tag match, but both belts are on the line. And then you can have one belt get dropped to Punk. And then Punk's going, I don't really need to help you anymore. I got my belt. And then it's a 2-on-1. Then you can have Jey Uso run back in. I'm like, hire me, dude. This is some good shit. Because then you have Punk, you have Cena, you have Uso that all de-belt the Rollins, Breaker, and Reed. I mean, that's some good shit. I'm just thinking about it. I'm going, I would be cheering. If I saw that, I would be cheering. Not knowing that I just spoke it out into existence, but I would be cheering. I'm going, this was good. Because the Cena turn was good, and it turned to shit. It's been boring. It's been stale. Sure, that's what Cena said, but nothing has had any substance. You're throwing water at oil, and it just is like, that's it. It's old. It's old. Go that path I just mentioned. Start that process. Money in the Bank. Start it. Get it going. And you will have people that by the time Cena's last thing is there, he can raise Usos. He could raise Punk, or shit. You can even have Sami Zayn at that point, and he can sit there and raise both their hands, and then, you know, he takes off his freaking all of his accessories and just starts yeeting them out into the crowd, and then just goes, play Usos music, and then all of them are yeeting, and that's how John Cena goes out. Goes out a hero, lost all the belts to the bad guys that were worse than him and had worse intentions than him. And then he sits there and helps pull the belts back and take some power away from them. You could even have Bronson Reed at that point turn on Rollins when the belts are gone. Now Reed goes off on his own because everyone loved the hell out of him. Or you could have Breakker do the same thing, and all that shit falls apart. And Rollins can go back to whatever the fuck he was doing. I'm like, because bottom line is, I'm just so sick and tired of everything seeming like it's the same shit. And the only thing that's changing is the names on the rosters. I don't know, man. I fell asleep during the triple threat match main event. I fell asleep. I was like, I'm going to bed. I'll pick this up. I rewatched the match. I'm going, kind of a ho-hum match. And it might be because I'm biased, because I don't like the whole El Grande thing. It was fine if it was already done. But it's not fun anymore, considering it's the same thing. Nothing changes. Nothing changes except his opponents. And he keeps getting put in places that he, honestly, I don't think should be. He shouldn't be in a qualifying match, let alone win the damn thing. Are you kidding me? I don't know, man. That's my rant for wrestling over the weekend. It'll be interesting for SmackDown, Money in the Bank, and then Raw next week. But nah, man. It's getting old, and it's funny because all of the guys' matches, I'm over. Like, bring on the ladies. I'm more looking forward to Evolution than I am any other shit for the pay-per-view or PLE, whatever the hell you want to call them, for the whole rest of the year. I'm looking forward to it. The only other thing I really truly look forward to is the Rumble. WrestleMania is more of just about pageantry than actual good substance. Even though the Fatal 4-Way for the IC title was one of the best matches, but the triple threat between Bianca, Io Sky, and Rhea, best match of the whole weekend. Best one. One right underneath that, the triple threat with Punk and Rollins and Reigns. That was it. But it just seems like there's so much just unfulfilling crap going on with the men's division. I'm not interested in it anymore. I'm behind my girls, Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer. All the rest of them are like, Ripley's cool, Morgan's cool. All the rest of them going, whatever. Don't care. But Raw needs to fix their tag division. SmackDown is pretty much just the tag breeding ground. So I don't know what the hell you're going to do with some of the single stuff over there, because it's almost like you don't got time. You got 6 good teams over there now. Raw has 3 relevant: War Raiders, New Day, and oh god, the Creed brothers. I mean, I really can't even say Judgment Day's a good tag, because there's so many times where you flip between doubles and singles that you're just going, So I mean that's it. It's sad. And it's sad that you have a product that is hot that can sit there and reach worldwide on Netflix. And this is the type of just uninteresting garbage or already completely diminished returns garbage week in and week out. There's just not as much fun to be had, with the sole exception being once Jey Uso shows up. That's the only fun that is allowed now. Maybe getting rid of R-Truth was them trying to say, hey, we need to have, Jay carry the actual entertainment part. Well, it's just his entrance. The most interesting thing about Jey Uso and Gunther's feud was when his brother Jimmy got involved. That big ass slap across the face and then all that blood that came out of his head that Gunther's pouring all over himself. That was the best part of their whole rivalry. The rest of it, not so much. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, that's your rantings of a disgruntled wrestling fan that wants to see this product do better because it just seems like it's losing its heart. And it seems like it's losing its identity, and it's just being buried behind even more and more corporate greed, and it's gonna have a fallout on it. It just is. I don't know. That's what I got. Yeah.